For this episode, we want to give a shout out to Ben with Creefall Bagel Company. Creefall Bagel Company is boiling and baking fresh sourdough bagels every morning. They're located in Creefall at 4825 Trousdale Drive, Suite 228. Go check them out. Welcome to another episode of the Nashville Dads. This week we have an Adam Moosekian. We talk about Harry Potter, his blended family, and how he prioritizes his daughters. We hope you enjoy.
Adam, what is an exercise physiologist?
It is basically a glorified personal trainer, but it's a lot of people that work with the special population, so elderly, heart patients, stroke patients, stuff like that.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I saw that on there. I was like, I'm going to ask him what that is.
That's fine.
That's a fancy word.
It is, and I love it more than personal trainer. You need a college degree to get it, whereas personal trainer, you just need a high school diploma and be over 18.
And a certification, right?
Right.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exercise physiologist, you need a high school degree or a college degree in certain fields. You need to take a 4-hour exam, CPR certified, all that fun stuff, and then 60 hours of continuing education every 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So they like to make sure we stay smartish.
I'm okay with that. Did you ever want to be like a physical therapist? Or it seems similar-ish.
Yeah, I did at one point. I was that was my first idea in college. I was starting out in athletic training with the idea of going into physical therapy, but then my grades started to slipping because I didn't like going to class. And MTSU
problem. Yeah.
MTSU knocks off your grades if you don't show up, no matter what grades you actually get.
Oh, okay.
So I made A's and B's on tests and papers, but it got dropped down to C's for not going to class.
I got you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then physical therapy school is very competitive to get into, and if you don't have the GPA to get in, then there's no point. So then I made the switch from athletic training to exercise science, and that was also the same time my first daughter was born.
Okay.
So with athletic training, you have to put in 250 minimum clinical hours where you're working with the college, and I couldn't do that while taking care of a kid too. So that was another reason why I switched.
That works.
Dang. Yeah. So you went to MTSU for everything?
I did. MTSU for undergrad, and just about 5.5 years. With my second child, I took a year off and hung out.
And how old are your kids now?
Maddie is turning 11 in November. We're calling it her Harry Potter year. We're big Harry Potter fans.
Oh, nice. Nice. Is that Slytherin?
That's
Slytherin.
Slytherin. It's a dark mark, but yeah, it's Slytherin.
I do not know much about Harry Potter other than just watching it with my wife.
We go to trivias all the time.
Do you really?
In Murfreesboro and Smyrna, we've gotten second twice, third place once.
Wow.
What's your trivia name?
Dumbledorks.
Dumbledorks.
Nice.
Are you a big Harry
no,
Potter?
I'm Lord of the Rings.
I'm Lord of the Rings fan too.
If you want to discuss Silmarillion, I can go as deep as you want. So.
My next tattoo I want to get is I'm a giant nerd too. So Pokemon, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and I'm also Catholic. So I've got a nice Catholic tattoo right there, and I want to get the Hail Mary prayer written out in Elvish.
Ooh.
So that's going to be my next big tattoo.
Right.
That's cool.
So you're Catholic and you're from here?
Uh-huh.
I don't meet very many Catholics from around
He's
here.
originally from Cincinnati, so he's used to running into Catholics.
Yeah,
on a regular
like it
basis.
is all Catholic up there, basically. I'm the minority.
Indiana, so I'm used to running into Lutherans everywhere.
Oh, okay.
So to run into someone who, and Catholics also, but you had to be like, wait, you're a Catholic?
Yeah.
Where do you go to Mass at? Like,
There's churches popping up all over the place too.
Yeah. Nice. I would probably I listened through so I didn't read Harry Potter whenever they came out.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to the movies, but I just read a lot of Lord of the Rings. And I listened through all of them as like an adult. The audiobooks of them are fantastic.
Yes. Especially when you have I think Jim Dale reading them. Those voices.
I think at one point in time he had like the Guinness Book World Record, because by the time the Deathly Hallows happens, he's doing like
every
100 voices. Like, because by the time you get to book 7, there are so many characters, and he has a distinct and like he speaks distinctly for every single character.
Every single
so
one.
there's like no overlap.
No, it's just him. It's him doing every single voice.
Yes.
And like you've watched the movies. Think of someone personifying all of those characters with just his voice by the final book.
And he does a pretty good job at getting there. Like his Hagrid is really good. He does a really good McGonagall too.
Yeah. So
you're making big bucks then. Big bucks.
Probably.
Yeah. If you're really good at changing up voices and getting characters in too. So
Lord of the Rings related also.
Okay.
Andy Serkis went back and did all the Lord of the Rings books.
Yes, and he voiced them all too.
He does.
Yes.
It's so good.
I've got the
also
Fellowship.
he did an interview on Colbert because Stephen Colbert is a massive Lord of the Rings nerd. He would do, so like whenever he would talk as one of the hobbits, he would go lower on the mic like this because the hobbits are so little. And then whenever he did Gandalf, he would do big and strong and like lean into the mic like that, like to get into character. And I'm like, you're doing a full acting performance.
Right.
It's really cool. I would probably be Hufflepuff is what I would assume because I'm very golden retriever like.
Okay.
So that's kind of, my wife has been like, you're Hufflepuff. And I'm like, I'm going to act like I know what these words mean. And she's like, you're Hufflepuff. Just trust me. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I thought Hufflepuff was just girls.
No, Hufflepuff is more like the really dependable person that you can lean on, a friend with everybody. And then there's also the Hufflepuff Puff Pass type thing too. So,
which is not me, just to clarify.
Devin, we all know you're a stoner.
So what's really funny is the common room for Hufflepuffs is right next to the kitchen.
I eat a lot of food. If you couldn't have guessed by me baking you a massive bag of cookies.
When I told my parents I was coming here and I showed them the cookies, they both were like, "You need to make sure you bring me at least one." I said, "I can't make any promises."
Dude, he is a great baker.
You can't make any promises. I feel like I've texted people's like wives before because they'll be like, "Whoa, you're sending him home with those cookies?" I'm like, "Listen, I send him out with the cookies.
Can't guarantee.
I don't know how far away you live, and I don't know what happened between here and there, and I'm sorry in advance."
Exactly. Only so much you can do.
Only so much I can do. It's out of my control now.
Dude, I'd be in the car just stuffing my face if I was you.
Yeah. What makes you connect to Harry Potter? Was it just like part of growing up and everything?
Yeah. Well, I was like you. I didn't really read the books until I was older. I read 4 and 5 in middle school because I had to read, and I've never liked reading. I think ADHD is the reason why, because I'll read the same page 5 different times and get like a quarter of what the words actually are. But Audible's been my best friend, and when Maddie was really young, and Ava, my other one, she's 8, just turned 8 in July. We'd always make trips to the library after school, and I would get those audiobooks at the library. Yeah. And then I signed up for Audible because I went on a solo trip down to Florida, 14-hour drive.
Yeah.
So perfect time to start a book. So when I signed up, I got 2 free books. So I went ahead and got the Sorcerer's Stone and the Deathly Hallows. So I'd listen to Sorcerer's Stone on the way down, Deathly Hallows on the way back up.
That's cool. What do you do, like 1.5 speed? Do you do 1 time speed?
Oh no, I do the regular.
Okay, cool.
I do 1.0 on books, but all my podcasts are 1.5.
Okay. If you listen to our podcast at 1.5, I'm really sorry. And for this part of the podcast, we're supposed to talk like this, just see how it sounds later. So.
Yeah.
I didn't know we could do that.
Yeah, whenever you listen to it, like on Spotify, you can change your.
There's a certain spot.
Yeah, you can change how fast you listen to it. Yeah.
Interesting. So, I had no idea, and I listen to podcasts.
You don't like sometimes
day.
While talking on this podcast, speed your voice up to see if anyone's paying attention and how much it might sound weird to them if they have a 2 times speed. You don't do that? No. Just most people?
Nope.
Me either. That's weird. I don't know. I don't think I have ADD, but I do audiobooks at 2 times speed because if I do it at 1 time speed, I lose focus.
No. Well, I do a lot of driving with what I do, so I'm always in the car. So it's either a book or a podcast to keep me focused. So it's harder to zone out when you're driving.
I think actually I more listen to audiobooks than I do like watch TV anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like my 20s was a lot of like, because like Netflix and all the streaming services came to be like in my late 20s. So like you went from, you had to buy the DVD to like, you can consume whatever you want.
Right.
And overindulgence kind of comes from that. So,
well, like I said, I do a whole bunch of driving, and I always have because during college I was a delivery driver for Papa John's, so I was always in the car and I was listening to music, and I'm like, I'm tired of music.
Yeah.
And then again, I started with the audiobooks on tape or on disc.
Yeah.
And then I downloaded Audible, so I get 1 book a month now.
Yep. What was the last book you listened to?
Starting with Why.
Oh, what's that one?
It's like
Simon,
small business. Yeah, Simon
Sinek.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I've probably
It's very
good.
entertaining.
Starting with Why. It's all about. I mean, and it was basically the way that Apple started off as well.
Yeah, he's a big Apple comparison in that book.
Apple, and then the Marines or the
SEALs, I think, is what it was.
Navy SEAls. That's right. Yeah.
It's a lot about why you do things and how to market it differently than other people. Oh, look at that.
Borrowing on Libby.
It is a good book. It's an easy read as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a 7-hour audiobook. That's nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think of Eaters Eat Last. That's another one of his books.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, he's got a lot of.
I was really big on the 7 Habits of Influential People.
Yeah.
And then the Encyclopedia of Body Language is a really good one to listen to.
I'm a fan of overanalyzing body language. But also, if you work with the body every single day, it probably speaks a lot more to you.
That, and you know, I'll ask somebody, how are you feeling? And they'll say one thing, but their face says another. So I'm like, I think you're lying to me. So we're going to modify either, you know, better or worse.
Yes. I always love talking to like chiropractors. I think they're fascinating. Because, they watch someone walk into the room. I'm like, how do you turn off your brain? Because you look at how someone stands and you know that they're in line or out of line.
So I'm at softball games watching the 8-year-olds run around, and I'm analyzing their gait. I'm watching.
You're like, they're going to pull something.
People walking around. Yeah.
We had on Bryce Beal, who does like Legacy at Carbon. Okay. And he does like training stuff or has a gym. And that's like his main goal is like, whenever I see kids run, I'm like, you're like setting your body up for failure. No. Like you have to lift like this. You have to like, he likes to train kids because he's like, no, you're going to hurt yourself. Because if you learn how to do this at age 8, at age 20, you're probably going to do it the same way. So if I can hopefully teach you like, just stand like this, bend over like this, like do these things correctly, then hopefully you don't have injuries later.
It won't have a bad back. You won't be.
You won't be the dad that's out of breath trying to chase your kids around the park in 5 minutes.
That is me right now.
Is it really?
Oh my gosh.
You have asthma. That's my excuse for you.
So
Thank
do
you.
I.
I appreciate that.
How bad is your asthma though? Because I've got it too, but mine's seasonal really.
Oh, mine was really bad when I was a kid. Like I took nebulizers every 4 hours. So like my mom would show up.
Even if you weren't having symptoms, you just do it every 4 hours?
Oh yeah, because it was that bad.
That sucks, man.
My mom would show up to school. I'd get pulled out of class.
Go to the office.
Take a puff. It was like 20 minutes.
I'll say that's a 20 thing. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So it's like you did like a breathing treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You basically put a face mask on and they gas the it's albuterol straight into you. Yeah.
Yep. So but I mean, for exercise, I did have exercise-induced asthma as well, but I was allergic to everything. I still am, but it doesn't faze me as well. I stopped doing the allergy shots.
I talked to your allergist. Don't know if that's the right decision.
Dude, I had to wait for 40 minutes, and then, like, they never called me back. So I just walked out and then just said, screw it, I'm never going back.
Have you ever done allergy shots?
I have not. The only thing I know that I'm allergic to is shellfish. So, you know, shrimp, lobster, mussels, and something like that.
Oh, man, you're missing out.
And Maddie, there's a place in Smyrna that we go to a lot, a restaurant called Toots.
Yes.
Locally owned, fantastic place. They have...
on Sam Ridley.
On Sam Ridley, yep. And there's 3 other ones in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, but we go there all the time.
Oh yeah, they're big in the Ruthies. Like almost every year, they're either first or at least a finalist in favorite family restaurant. But they have a shrimp basket that Maddie always gets, and she's like, "I'm getting this, so you can't steal my fries." I'm like, if any of my kids are gonna kill me, it's gonna be this.
It's gonna be that one.
Do you go to anaphylactic shock when you?
If I. Even just a little bit, like you know how at hibachi restaurants they'll put the appetizer on your plate. Even that's on my plate, my throat will swell, and I'll break out into hives and start coughing.
Wow!
So I keep Benadryl in my car just in case.
Man, that's not fun.
That's okay. I'm pretty good at avoiding it, but it also means that if I go out to hibachi, I get my stuff cooked first.
Yeah.
Because the chicken's usually last at hibachi, but if you say you're allergic to shrimp, they'll cook the chicken before they cook the shrimp.
Do you go to hibachis that much?
I do.
Do you really? I've been like hibachi once in the last.
Oh man, they're so good.
Hibachi is great, especially if you have kids too.
Mine didn't like it when we went.
Oh.
When we went, but also like that was like a year ago. So like my youngest was like just 1, and he was like didn't want to sit down, you know. And then like you have the big grill and fire,
and then the fire,
and then he was scared of the fire. So like one of us was walking around with the youngest the entire time, and the other one of us was trying to convince the other 2 kids to sit down and eat food. So I was like, I'm good. This is not like, I'm sure there's entertainment, there's pageantry here, but I'm going to put this I'm just going to go to McDonald's next time. That's that's what I learned.
A lot less money and a lot less stress.
And the kids actually eat the food. That was it. I went to Hibachi Grill to order chicken nuggets for my kids. That's
perks being a dad, though.
I'm glad you've had a positive experience at a Hibachi Grill, regardless of my personal stories.
No, I love hibachis. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience at a hibachi minus going into anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, I was going to say, almost dying.
You know, it was a great time. The ambulance, though, could have done without that.
It's like, that EpiPen hurts.
It hurts, but it works really well.
I've actually never had an EpiPen shot, though. But
That's
like
good.
I said, Benadryl is usually enough for me because I don't.
Cool.
If I eat a lot of it, then I think what happened. But usually I catch it soon enough.
Yeah.
And we're not eating a lot of it, then I'm usually safe.
Well, man, that's like one of my favorite dishes.
Hibachi or shellfish?
Shellfish.
Okay.
Like shrimp. Trying to think, mussels are my favorite.
Oh, really?
Oh man, I could eat like just a basket of
So,
mussels.
Toots, they're famous for 3 things: their chicken fingers, their fried
Mhm.
pickles, and their oysters.
Oh, okay.
So if you're big into shellfish, go to Toots and try their pickles and their oysters. I have not had their oysters, but
From what you've been told.
Yeah.
from what I've been told, but I can't speak to the chicken fingers and the pickles for
Pretty
sure.
solid? Okay.
Oh man. But
Anyway.
speaking of asthma though, so
Yeah.
I did. My wife is doing. Is it something 440? Exercise 440 or sweat 440. That's what it's called. It's very similar to Orange Theory, but it's got like 4 stations. You do 3 different exercises at each station, and then you just keep rotating.
One big circuit.
I did that as a guest and about died.
Did you really?
Yeah. She was like, "Have you exercised?" I was like, "Yeah, I exercise.
Yeah,
Whatever. Whatever."
I'm a man. I do hard work
After the
every day.
first round or first set of exercise, I was like, "Oh damn,
Yeah.
I am not meant to be doing this." My chest was just like,
My wife does Orange Theory, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. She's like, you should do it sometime. I'm like, nope.
yeah,
Good, because I know it like more because I respect it, not because I'm like I don't want to do any work, but just like no, it's like a really intense hit exercise
yep,
that like doesn't seem fun to me. I'll do my yin yoga at home. That's fine. I'll do
and
that instead.
Orange Theory incorporates a lot of the bikes, the attack bikes, and
Yes.
the treadmills while
Yeah.
you're lifting weights too. So you never get a chance to breathe. At least with the 440, and then there's another one, F45.
yes,
Yeah.
That's another one where you can at least slow down and breathe. Or F45 has cardio days on one and then strength days on another. So
Okay.
if you don't want the cardio, you can just go for the strength.
Molly, I think is her name. She used to be at the 445 or whatever it was. What is it called?
F45.
F45
Sounds like trucks.
on at Eastside Heights in East Nashville, and then she just went over to Sweat 440.
Okay.
So, but man, I felt like it was just a constant because you go from one exercise. I think you have 30 seconds to breathe, and you do the next exercise, and then you do the
And it's almost
Yeah.
nonstop for about
It's
45
for
minutes.
four-
You get like a minute water break
yeah.
halfway
good.
through.
I'm good.
I like-
great for your heart, but I'm good.
I
Me too.
like
I-
to go at my own pace. I did not like the pushing of, all right, you got to do the next one.
Yeah.
I like going out and doing cardio outside, walking or playing pickup basketball at a park. That's my
Okay.
cardio. I don't like running on a treadmill or
No.
intensive workouts right then and there.
Yeah. My cardio usually consists of my electric bike.
Yeah. I think I would. Yeah. Like
Man.
If you're like go run 2 miles, I'm like, nah, I'm good. If you're like go play pickup basketball or pick up soccer game,
Yeah.
yeah, sure,
Absolutely.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Racquetball's always fun too.
Yeah.
And
Dude, where do you play basketball at? At
Uh,
the that big park in Smyrna?
yeah, the Lee Victory Park. Yeah.
Oh man, okay.
Justin will be there. What day you play?
it,
I
it always
I
depends
usually-
on my schedule.
Yeah,
I
that's fair.
usually have a basketball and then basketball shorts and shoes. And if I have spare time in between meetings, I will look on my GPS for an outside basketball court,
Yep.
and I'll just go shoot around.
Yeah, I keep shoes and a ball in my car too because
Do you really?
I've got some clients where it'll be like an hour or two apart, but they're 5 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll find the closest park and I'll go shoot basketball for 45 minutes or so.
Yep.
Do you only?
Heck yeah, man, I need your number.
Yeah,
'cause-
right.
Yeah. I work over in Laverne.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm over in Smyrna and Murfreesboro all
My,
the time.
Maddie's stepdad, him and I play. Like him and I we grew up best friends, and he still plays a lot more often than I do, and he's got a pretty consistent schedule going out there.
Cool. Heck yeah.
Do you only do your job at people's houses?
For the most part, yes. I've got a contract with the St. Thomas Wellness Center out in Murfreesboro, where I can work there for a fee, but everything else is mostly in people's houses.
Does that mean so? Does your car have like you've got a basketball and a bunch of like workout equipment and like?
Well, it's got a basketball and a whole bunch of bands right now.
Bands? Okay, cool.
I've switched my my niche, so I deal more with the elderly. We do a
Okay.
lot of fall prevention, balance, and getting up off the ground unassisted.
yeah.
So they don't really need a whole lot of weights for
No,
that.
not so much. It's more just like, hey, if you're in this situation, here's how you take care of yourself.
Or here's how to not fall. And I've been working with my mom for almost a year now. And since I've worked with her, she has not had a fall.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Before me, though, she was falling like once every week.
Oh, really?
Really?
She's just clumsy.
No balance?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She is 63.
Okay.
And how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay.
Cool. How old do you think we are?
Let's see.
Carnival Barker questions.
That's my favorite game to play
Is
at
it
the
really?
carnival. It's the age, the weight, and your birth months. Because nobody
okay.
ever gets my age, nobody ever gets my weight, and then it's a 1 out of 12 shot for the birth month.
Yeah, basically. I got nothing for. I know you're 31, so I got one for 3. So yeah, how old do you think I am and Justin is?
Let's see. We're gonna go 38 and 39.
Very close. I'll be 39 in about a month.
Give me that. That's close enough.
36.
Oh,
But yeah,
It's still pretty good though.
I need to go be a
Still
carny
pretty
is what it sounds like.
good. If for some reason you have a slow month,
Wilson
hopefully spring or
County,
summer, you got
yeah.
Wilson County Fair.
Wilson County Fair or the Nashville Fair
Yeah,
that's
Nashville
going
Fair's
on right
happening
now.
Yeah, so you just
There you
go
go.
on down there and be like, hey, you about this age? Sweet, give me $10. Let me know how that works out.
Yeah, I will. I'll be back. Follow up.
Yes. So did working with your mom, did that encourage you or kind of open a door for you to be like, this work with more elderly people,
Well,
let's change this up?
I was working with a couple before I worked with mom, a husband and wife, and that was their main goal is they just wanted to work on the getting up off the ground and the not falling.
Yeah.
And then mom had her second major stroke, and then I noticed a lot of weakness on her left side.
Yeah.
She's recovered well, back to normal. We actually went on a 3-mile bike ride the other day too.
Oh,
So
wow.
Great.
she's doing great. I'm very proud of her. She's planning a Europe trip in January, so her goal is to be ready to walk around London.
That's awesome.
But she, after that second stroke, she had a lot of issues, and I walked into her house, and a round came out, and in that span, she had fallen and was on her way back up. And I looked at her and said, "All right, I'm coming over this day. We're going to start your balance training. I don't care what you say." And since then, she slipped a couple times, but not fallen, and she caught herself, and she's very, very happy about that.
Yeah, that's great.
That
Man, a stroke.
Yeah.
Like, did she have to start from, like, ground zero again?
No, because she worked in, she spent the last 5 or 6 years of her profession at HCA, so she worked a lot with the medical side of it. So she knew the ins and outs of a stroke, and as soon as she realized what was going on, my brother was actually driving her car. If she was driving, it would have been really bad.
Yeah.
She somehow communicated to him to get him to the hospital, and as soon as she got there, she got that clot buster drug.
Okay.
And there's a certain drug when you're having a stroke, it's like a 60% success rate.
Wow.
But it either works or it doesn't work, and either way you're gonna go.
Yeah.
But graciously it worked for her, and she spent a couple days in the hospital and a little bit of PT. But
she could still like speak.
Yeah, she can
Cool.
she can still speak. She's balances a whole lot better. Her strength is coming back. Sometimes it just takes her time to get words out.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if she's planning on going to London, like that's not a casual trip.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
That'll be a really cool celebration.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
So she's doing great, and I'm ready to see how much further she can go.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of moms, kind of off topic, but
Yeah.
my mom did not show up to Ada's birthday party yesterday.
Are you calling your mom out on this?
I
episode?
am because
God.
all right, so my parents are older. My dad's 76, 77. My mom is 75, I think. And they're in a habit of not telling me if they're like they have a major surgery, if they go to the
You're
hospital.
That many years old. You're that many years old now. Hey, Dad, how's it going? I just had my gallbladder removed yesterday. Okay, cool.
Well, so my dad, my sister, and my nephew show up, and I'm like, "Where's Mom?" And my sister immediately says, "Don't kill the messenger." And I'm like, "What do you mean? What? What?"
That's a bad lead-in.
Mom went to the ER yesterday and couldn't come. I'm like, "What?"
Why did nobody call me?
Well, we still want you
Well,
to worry.
yeah, exactly.
But if the roles are switched,
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was like, "Well, you guys are potty training, and I didn't
got a
want
lot
to." I'm
going
like,
on.
"Holy crap,
I'm just
Mom!"
bleeding out in a hospital.
don't worry about me.
Well, I mean, she went to the ER twice this past week.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Monday she had diverticulitis and had to get like 12 12 inches of her bowel removed.
Ooh.
And when they stitched her back up, and this was like 10 years ago, some type of cyst happened where her stitch was. So she went to get that taken care of like last week or 2 weeks ago. Over the weekend, she was at our house, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, in pain, but she would not tell us.
Oh.
Man, that's too bad.
And then come Monday morning, like it was swelling and oozing, and my dad was like, "You're going to the hospital." So she went to the hospital for that, and then had to go back to the hospital for the ER on Friday because of diverticulitis again. So I was like, come on.
Diverticulitis is rough.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
It's where your body doesn't digest certain kinds of food. Usually it's like a lot of gluten and flour type stuff. So you go on a very strict diet, and you basically can't have a lot of carbs.
Okay.
And seeds or
it gives you like severe stomach pain.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and it like creates nodules or
just messes everything up.
Oh yeah. Yep. But I mean, my dad, same thing with my dad. Whenever he had like a grandma's seizure. They didn't tell me any about that. Like, I'm like, come on, guys.
And you've talked to your parents.
Oh, yeah. I've told them before.
Come in like once a month.
Like, please tell me when you do this kind of
keep
stuff.
me in the loop.
They're like, oh, I don't want to bother you.
I will be really intrigued because whenever I get to, like 70, my parents are in their 60s. Like whenever I get to their age, I'll be intrigued to see how forthcoming I am with medical information. Because like right now, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll tell my kids like everything. We'll give them a heads up and all that. But like whenever I'm the one who's about to go in to get like a cath test on my heart, like, will I actually want to tell my kids that? Oh. I'm assuming yes.
Yes.
But whenever you're in that age and you're looking at mortality and telling your kids about your mortality at the same breath.
That's the thing about it, though, is the mortality. Is if I go into this surgery, I might not come out of it. Yeah. And I don't want to have that on my conscience of wherever I end up going, that I never talked to my kid.
I've also seen where, as the parents get older, the kids are the ones that are taking them to and from those appointments anyway. So there's a chance where your kids will just be there anyway.
Yeah. Well, my parents live in Maryville, so I did not.
But your sister went with him probably,
Yep,
right?
And my sister did not tell me either. Yeah. She was like, I did not want Mom to get mad. And I was like...
I respect that, though. I can totally
I was like, that is fine if Mom gets mad. It's not my news
to share, but I don't know what to do with this.
Because I would be royally pissed if she ends up dying and I didn't have a chance to talk to her beforehand.
The phone call you get to see. So Mom died this morning. What happened? Oh, she was in surgery. She was in surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Pisses me off.
Yeah, of course.
I cannot stand it.
That's valid.
So, Mom,
if you're listening,
tell me.
I care.
Yes, I do.
Tell me what's up with your life.
Yeah, parents talk to your kids. Kids talk to your parents.
Yeah, pretty much.
Communicate. That's all. Jesus.
Do you feel like you're like doctor adjacent? Like, do you have like a bunch of weird medical knowledge where you're like, I know enough about this to be dangerous, but I'm really not a doctor?
So I do because, like I said, I spent 2 years in athletic training. So I got a lot of lower body stuff. So basically from your waist down, I can tell you almost what's wrong and how to fix it.
Okay.
And I've got a somewhat good idea for the up. And then all of the insides is where my knowledge goes away.
Yeah, that's fair though.
Yeah,
I think that's where most people's knowledge goes away.
I've got a pretty good knowledge about nutrition and how everything digests, but as far as hormones and blood and all that fun stuff,
that's a whole specialty.
Yeah, that's out of my scope.
Yeah.
But I am the one that everybody calls if somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
Ava pulled a muscle in softball a couple weeks ago because she was not throwing the way she needed to be throwing.
Yeah.
And I saw it in her face, and I came over and I broke the knot out of her back, and she was not happy at that time, but she went back into the game and was fine, and I was watching it. So whenever she's ready to start actual strength training, we're going to get her going.
That's awesome.
Do you like look at your kids and like, if you literally just do this stretch, you'll be like, if you do this strength training, you'll be good. Like you'll be better at what you do. Do you try to push that on them, or do you let them come to you?
Not yet. Maddie is very athletic. She's very petite too. But she doesn't know really what she wants to do yet. She likes cheerleading. She likes gymnastics. Ava is the softball player. Okay. And once she gets the fundamentals down, like it's her first time at shortstop.
Okay.
So once she gets that going down and she actually needs to start the strengthening, then I will probably ask her if she wants some help with it, but I'm not going to push it if she doesn't want it.
It's that weird moment where you're like, this is literally what I do every day.
Exactly.
And I could help you out a lot.
Yes. I've got friends that are like that. I've got a couple brothers that they want to work out. I'm like, well, call me.
Yeah. I can tell you what you can do to get better, but I'm not going to force it on you because that kind of changes this relationship in a weird way.
It does. And I want to be the parent that they're relaxed with. Like, I don't want a whole bunch of pressure on them coming from me, at least. If I can help it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
All right. So tell us a little bit, how did your family get started?
All right. So I was high school sweethearts with Maddie's mom. We were engaged throughout college and then just separated. You know, stuff happens.
Yeah.
But she was pregnant when we ended up separating. So then Maddie was born, and we kind of, you know, in and out of court, the normal, I hate to say it, but the normal baby mama drama that you hear and see all over the place. Mm-hmm. So we were in and out of court for different reasons. Once that all settled down, it took about 2.5, maybe 3 years before we were a lot more cordial to each other.
Yep.
And then around that time, I fell madly in love with Ava's mom, and she ended up getting pregnant and woke up and she didn't want to be with me anymore, so she left. I know, I'm 0 for 2.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
But Ava was born. So those are my two. Okay. Now, Maddie's mom and her stepdad have 2 other kids. That is Malaya, which we call her Maya, and then Matilda, we call her Tilly.
Okay.
So Maddie has 2 half-sisters on that side. And then Ava's mom started dating this guy, and he had a daughter that is a month and a half younger than Maddie, and that's Kyla. And then her mom and him had another kid, Cora, and she is, she just turned 6. So there's basically me, 2 baby mamas, 2 other spouses, and 6 girls.
Wow. All girls?
Yeah, all girls. So then it's Maddie's the oldest, then Kyla. And then Malaya and Ava are 10 days apart.
Wow.
16 days apart. They're 2 weeks apart-ish. And then it goes Cora and Tilly.
Jeez.
So one big mix, happy family.
So you're a single parent?
Yes.
But fascinating.
Yeah, single
but you're
parent.
still involved in...
Yeah, we go on family vacations together.
Okay.
Like for... I think Maddie's birthday last year, we all took a trip to Gatlinburg, as in me, Maddie's mom, Ava's mom, their group, and a couple other people, and we went to Soki Mountain Water Park and spent a weekend up there.
Wow, so both of your baby's mamas.
Mm-hmm. They're best friends right now. Didn't start off like that. Through me. They met through me because, you know, baby mama number 1 had to meet baby mama number 2.
Of course.
They didn't like each other because I was the the middle person. But then over time, they got really close and had some similar backgrounds. So they connected and they're best friends. And we all were at Arrington Vineyards this afternoon.
Oh, really?
That is so cool.
So we were all just hanging out and let the kids run around.
Initially, how did you feel about that relationship?
Oh, that relationship didn't bother me one bit.
Really? Okay.
I try not to hold grudges best I can. Let things go.
Yeah. What are the holidays like for you?
Usually, you know, our parenting plan that we have is we alternate holidays every year.
Okay.
But that's just really whose house are they at for the holiday.
Yeah.
As far as, you know, Christmas goes, we do Christmas Eve in my mom's house because that's just our family tradition.
Cool.
And then Christmas morning, we all get together and exchange gifts. And then they go to their other mom's family's houses, and I spend it at my parents' house for fun. Easter every year, I do an Easter egg hunt at my house, and I invite everybody over, and then some of my friends that also have kids too.
Cool.
So last year I had like 800 eggs hidden in my backyard, and then I also went and got the mini shots of alcohol and hid those in my backyard too for the adults to find.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I told a kid, I said, kids, you're only allowed to pick up the eggs. Anything else is not yours.
Sorry, that's just like I've never heard of a family.
I know.
Like that
I told you. I told you I was unique.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a big reason why I wanted to come out here in case anybody's in that situation.
Yeah.
And
No, that's
it's all about putting the kids first and trying to be selfless as a parent.
Yeah.
Because all the hate does is just the kids are going to pick up on it. They're gonna notice, and then they're gonna be resentful one way or another. So I try to show everybody love.
Cool.
Mother's Day, they both get presents from the kids, in quotation marks. The dads get something as well, not as extravagant as the moms do, but I give them a little something to let them know. Because, Father's Day, everybody likes to be appreciated as a dad.
Yeah.
And as a single parent, I don't really get as much because, the moms usually do something. So I like to make sure that the dads are appreciated as well. Birthdays are like that too. So we'll get the stepdad's birthday presents. Moms will get birthday presents, always from the kids.
And do you have a good relationship with the stepdads?
Yeah. Yeah. Maddie's stepdad and I were a little rocky when they first got together. It happens, but we're buds again. We do sports betting. We talk sports. We play basketball.
Cool.
We all hang out. They're not married just yet, but I can see it happening. Him and I started off a little rocky, but we're better on talking terms and can talk and connect without any
conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do in any of those scenarios. I'm not gonna lie. Just I would imagine
you gotta have a good heart to do that
Yeah.
because like you said, the hate. I mean,
the hate will just eat you up inside.
Yeah, the envy can
envy,
destroy
jealousy.
You. Yeah.
Thinking of another kid calling someone else dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some moms push that, some moms don't. But it's worry about things you can control, let go of things that you can't, and that's just one of the things that I can't control. So I don't worry about it.
Yep. I mean, I think when you have a kid with your partner, whatever the relationship is, you have a vision of what that relationship will look like for all three of you. And whenever that doesn't happen, there's like natural dissonance that happens there. And that usually dissonance and unmet expectations normally leads to anger.
Yeah.
So, if your relationship with the stepfathers at first started with like, no, we weren't on good terms, it's like, yeah, of course. Like, I don't like,
like who would?
I don't know. You just go from like, oh, hey, you're the new dad, right? Dude, nice to meet you, man. So, it's really cool that you've been able to figure out a relationship in which you're able to lead with love as opposed to lead with your ego and hate.
And that's got to be awesome for the kids too to be able.
It is like so. Ava and Malaya, like I said, they're like 2 weeks apart. They are besties for the resties, and that's their words, not mine.
Yeah.
So they're hand in hand, arm in arm, just walking all around. So the kids, they can all be together, play, grow up. So even if we have birthday parties and they invite all their friends, and for some reason the friends can't come, they're going to have their sisters.
Cool.
Yeah.
And yes, they're all sisters.
Yeah. If I can ask, what's custody look like? Do you have like half custody?
I get every Tuesday I pick them up from school and we hang out for a little bit, and depending on how the day goes, sometimes there's a softball game, sometimes softball practice. If there's nothing going on, we'll go back to my house, we'll hang out, we'll play there. We always go eat dinner, so that's like a Tuesday ritual for us.
Okay.
And then I get the first 3 weekends of the month. So I get them Saturday morning / afternoon whenever I'm done with clients, and I take them back Sunday evening. And then the fourth one and sometimes fifth one the moms can have. So that way the moms, if they wanted to go do something, then they go out and do that.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah. It was definitely some work to get there. It wasn't easy.
No,
but
this is also like years of
Yes.
like working at it. This
Yes.
is not like day one. Like, okay, cool. Here's what we're doing. We're cool with all of this.
Yeah. So Ava's 8. So we're looking at about 5, maybe 6 years of some really good times now,
Cool.
and more going forward.
Yeah. Also, like, the first 2 years of a kid's life are exhausting.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine that with
Tension's high,
with
sleep
tension
deprived.
high, sleep deprived. You were already like, how the heck do I take care of this kid?
Right.
Like,
Especially the first one.
yeah, even if you're already like in a committed relationship and not like separated, like to have a kid that's
So-
less than 2 is exhausting.
Both of them right there.
Yep. Oh, you went to the old one.
Oh,
You need to go to the newest one. So that was last year. That was another dance. So there's my mom. That's Halloween. That's Maddie's mom. That was one of her birthday parties. Ava's first communion or first confession. Like I said, they were Catholic.
Yeah.
We went all the
Oh,
way
yeah.
up to.
Ah, here we go. Is that
there
it?
we go. That's us. That was this past Wednesday. That was the Chick-fil-A Daddy-daughter ball.
Yeah. How was that? Was that cool?
Fantastic.
How big is that Chick-fil-A, by the way?
No, it's not at a Chick-fil-A.
Okay, cool. I was like,
It's-
whoa, Chick-fil-A is
that is
this has a
at-
hall.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That is at Sycamore Farms.
Okay.
Out in Franklin, but it's hosted and put on by the Chick-fil-A in Murfreesboro. So there's 2 locations, one owner, and he always puts it on every year.
That's really cool.
So what do you, I mean, can anybody go to this?
Anybody
or-
can go to it. You just have to buy the tickets via Eventbrite.
Okay.
But
Okay.
really, if you follow their social media, Instagram or Facebook, they'll let
Listed
you know when the
everywhere.
tickets are.
Cool.
and it's every year.
Every year. Usually it's in June, but I think they got tired of the heat, so they pushed it back into
Yeah.
September. But
So what all do you do?
they there's the VIP package is you get picked up from the Chick-fil-A in a limo, and then they drive you to Sycamore Farms. You get there an hour before the regular guests get there. And then they have either Chick-fil-A workers or actors dressed up as all the princesses.
Yeah.
So you'll have Ariel, Belle, Cinderella,
all the Disney
Moana,
hits.
Elsa and Anna. Yeah, all the girls are there. So they'll get there and they'll help with makeup, hair, nails, whatever that you want to do with the kids. And then you get one-on-one time, selfie time with the princesses. And then an hour later, the non-VIPs show up and they walk in, and it's a red carpet. You get to walk down after you check in. The princesses are there waiting to greet you. This was the first year they actually had the princes there.
Oh, okay.
So there were two of them there, Prince Eric and Prince Naveen.
Yeah.
Prince Eric.
Yeah, what's
Ariel.
he from? There you go.
And then Princess and the Frog.
Yep.
Okay.
Prince Naveen.
So
I'll learn them, I'm sure.
they have.
Oh yeah, it'll
Right,
it'll
right now
dominate
it's
your
just
life.
Nemo.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
If you can stick to Pixar films as of going deep into the Disney princess world, enjoy it while it lasts.
But they've got the princesses there. Chick-fil-A provides food, so you either get a sandwich or nuggets. You get
Heck yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
That's God's food.
Yep.
That's right.
Got the Lord's chicken.
The Lord's chicken.
Then they have a photo booth. They've got a DJ there playing music, and it's all Disney songs.
Yeah.
They have an itinerary where certain princesses will come out and sing songs from the movie. So Ariel's always a part of your world.
Yeah.
Anna will come out and sing their songs. It's wonderfully done. Then they'll have bounce houses, face painting,
Oh, cool.
balloon animals. This year they had a caricature.
That's a hard word to
It
say.
is.
Yeah, it is.
Well done.
So we were his last people there, and
Cool.
I was very glad. And then they have horse-drawn carriages that you can get in. It's
Wow.
really well
That's
done.
really cool.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right,
Big-
I'm going to
big
have to
shout
look
out
into
to-
that when she's older.
Big shout out to Bo for that.
Yeah, right?
If you scroll through the pictures, though, you'll see our group picture
Wait.
of me and that's
She's
Maddie.
very, very beautiful.
Yes, and that's Ava.
Very
And then there's the dads. There's the stepdads.
Oh,
cool.
okay. Man,
Oh,
that
so
is
they
so
went to and
cool.
dressed
Yeah,
up?
we all went
That's
together.
awesome.
Yeah, so Maddie and Ava are with me, and then the
Mhm.
one in the middle is Felino with Malaya and Tilly, and then the one on the right is Donovan with Kyla and Cora.
Cool.
Yeah, they all had a blast. Like I said, Ava and Malaya were all over. I was teaching them a little swing dancing too.
Yeah.
That is so cool,
Yeah.
man. All right, well, what else? What other cool things do you guys do?
Well, like I said, we do the family trips. We went to Disney World all together last October during fall break.
Yeah.
So that was hectic and fun at the same time.
Yeah,
If
I
you've
was
ever been to
gonna
Disney World,
say.
you know why it's hectic.
Yeah, pretty much.
The adults want to go without the kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you hit up Harry Potter World while you were there?
I did. I was very disappointed in it
Oh,
because
really?
it was terrible timing.
Oh, I thought it's because nothing's as good as your dreams.
No, it was. If you go to Universal, don't go during. Or you could go during October, but don't go expecting to hang out in the park in October because Fridays and Saturdays they close down the park like 5 hours early and turn it into an 18 and up fright night.
Oh.
So I went there on a Friday in October, and I rode one ride in Harry Potter World, and then they shut that park down where the Harry Potter World was. So then we had to walk to the
Oh,
other end
man.
of the park where Hogsmeade is,
Mm-hmm.
and we ate dinner over there. And since half of Harry Potter World was shut down, everybody else was over there too.
Yeah.
So I didn't do I only did one Harry Potter ride while I was in Universal.
Gotcha.
So like I said, it was just poor timing, poor planning.
Gotcha.
God.
Yeah. Just the reality of
yeah.
the weekend you were there. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm not going to do any of the stuff I wanted to do.
It's like, yeah, but it's okay. I'll make my way back down there and I'll
Cool.
go enjoy Harry Potter World.
Nice.
But I did have a butterbeer.
Nice.
Rode
What
through
did that taste like?
a frothy butterscotch.
Oh, okay.
So, pretty good then.
Yeah.
Did it actually have alcohol?
It did not. No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know
don't
anything
either.
about it.
You can get them with alcohol in it. They'll just put like butterscotch rum or something like that in it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they had that option in Universal or not, but I do know people that have made it like that.
If you sneak the
Interesting.
butterscotch rum in your pocket, it makes it a little bit easier.
Probably, yeah.
Do you feel like it seems like you had to redefine what family meant to you once you started having kids? It's
Mhm.
pretty cool the way you've redefined it and everything
Yeah.
and shaped it is pretty sweet. I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. You had to give up a lot of your ego and like expectations
Yeah,
you had going
absolutely.
into things to create the family you've had. Like just looking at the picture Justin just pulled up of you
Yeah.
standing with two stepdads, like, and it looks like you're all trying to make a family unit. Basically.
We are, yes.
That's really cool.
It's our village. They always say it takes a village to raise a kid. We have a legit village.
Yeah.
So
that is so cool.
My parents they see that I got done wrong, so they're not as happy about the whole situation, which I understand. I don't hold them against it, but they're just missing out on certain things.
Correct.
Ava's grandparents on her mom's side, they love the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then same with Maddie's mom's parents as well. They're just not as involved as everybody else, but it's definitely a village, and we have some friends in our group too that will come tag along too.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
And it's all girls.
Yeah.
Surrounded by girls.
Yep.
Do you think you'll date? Like, are you dating anyone? How messy can we make this family?
We can I have actually been single for 4 years now, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
If I meet the right person, cool. If not, I'm not actively looking, but I'm also not against it. Like, I've got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. I've got my business that I do. I've got softballs kicking in now, so we had to reschedule this last time because of softball.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So,
okay.
And the thing was is that the last time we were scheduled, it was tournament time, so nothing was scheduled.
Yeah,
it just
so I was like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Maybe I can come, maybe I can't.
And I was like, maybe I can come a little later, but then if they won one game, then they had to stay for a second game that same night, and that's what ended up happening.
Yeah. Silly kids actually winning at their games.
I know.
Dang it.
So, I mean, I think there's a point when you get into your life where, like, you have kids and stuff, and like, you not wanting to date, I think makes a ton of sense. You have a job that I would assume takes a lot. It takes a lot of intentionality. If you're working with elderly people, also that takes a lot of patience and kindness.
It does.
And then you've got 2 girls also that you want to be patient and kind with.
Mm-hmm. And
so like, someone's like, "Hey, now date someone." You're like, "I'm good."
When?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Do you have the time?
It's like, so really the only time I could date would be like Friday nights.
Yeah.
or the last weekend of the month. Like,
and also like selling that to someone, be like, "Hey, so I'm interested in you. So I have 2 daughters from 2 different women, and I'm only available on one weekend."
And then also got to throw in, I also have a really good relationship with both of those moms as well.
Yeah, so please don't mess that up.
Yeah.
I worked really hard to get here.
It's like, it's like they've been around much longer than you. But
so the reality is, I don't blame you for not dating.
That's going to be a hard one to sell.
It is.
Not going to lie.
But maybe in like 10 years when everybody's
18
18 and gone, maybe I'm not like, I'm happy the way I am. I've got a good relationship with people that I care about and truly love.
You've got community.
I've got a community, and I'm not lonely.
Yeah.
You know? So
That's great though.
And you also get to help people. You're helping people in very vulnerable moments.
It's a very satisfying career.
Yes.
And I'm really glad it fell into my lap the way it did.
Yep.
And actually, I started my in-home business in November of 2019, so 6 months before COVID shut everything down. So
you're a soothsayer. Good to know.
Since working with the elderly, how did that work out during COVID?
A lot of them was just like, have you gotten your COVID vaccine?
Yeah.
And they were like, if you have your vaccine, then feel free to come on over. A couple of them could have cared less. If they wanted me to wear a mask, I would wear a mask. I was nothing against that. It's all about keeping each other healthy and making sure that everybody's okay. But COVID, they could have cared less. They loved that they were able to do it from the comfort of their own home. They loved they didn't have to go anywhere. They didn't have to provide anything except for space and then the time.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Very, very satisfying career. There's a video up there if you scroll forward. It's an elderly man with a walker.
Yeah.
Mr. Bobby. When I first met him, he had trouble even standing up out of his chair unassisted. And I got him to do 4 laps around his house in one 45-minute session.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yep, there he is. That's Mr. Bobby.
Mr. Bobby.
So he actually was a multiple stroke and epileptic, so he has a lot of issues too. But we worked on getting his legs strong enough just to hold him up.
Yeah.
But now he was able to make laps around his house.
The people I know who do physical therapy have a very in them belief in like people's ability to achieve things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you have a very do you see barriers much whenever you talk to someone? Or you're like, no, man, let's figure out a plan. Let's do this. You can achieve this.
There are many different ways to go about achieving the goals, especially, with the walking and getting up from the ground. If you've got the commitment for it and you don't have, underlying issues that's going to prevent you from doing that, then yes, absolutely. Anybody could be able to stand up, walk, and hold their own as they get older. And as people get older, I watch my parents getting older too. So that's one of the fears, that they would fall and no one would be around to help them out.
Of course.
So I also like to say that I'm here to put Life Alert out of business.
That's fair. Yeah. then we won't have that phenomenal commercial.
Help.
We would not.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Is this you? Not anymore. Call Adam.
That's your commercial. Whenever you need to make an ad for
That's
selling
right.
your business,
Yep.
is this you? Not anymore. Talk to Adam.
Exactly. It'll be the start of the commercial and then just exactly.
Yeah, the record stop.
Are you afraid this is you one day?
Not anymore.
I can help.
Call this dude.
So do people just randomly call you up, or do you get referred from doctors?
All I've got a couple chiropractors that will send me people, a couple doctors, internal medicine usually will send me people.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I've got that contract with the wellness center at the hospital. So they've got a couple flyers up, and they always recommend people to me whenever they need a trainer. And then I'm the first person everybody tags on Facebook when they're looking for a personal trainer. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you do personal training also? If I was like, I need a workout routine, I could talk to you about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. Good to know. I'm just trying to advertise your services on the podcast even more.
Yeah.
So
I will help anybody that wants help, but I am kind of narrowing in on the elderly population.
cool. Let me talk about your tattoos. What you got? What you got
All
on
right,
the
so,
sleeves? You don't have to show me. I can see them on the picture. You can keep your clothes
Yeah,
on.
we need to have. Here we go.
This turned into a drastically different
it did.
episode.
So on my left arm, I call it my Catholic tattoo.
Cool.
It is, it's basically a rosary, which is a cross with a whole bunch of beads wrapped around it, and then it has angel wings flowing out from each side of it. On my right arm,
It
it's
looks like an angel or something.
yeah, it's the angel wings coming out of the cross. It's fantastic. I love it.
Nice.
So that's my Catholic tattoo. I've got my Death Eater on my forearm, my left arm. So if anybody knows
Death
Harry
Eater.
Potter,
Okay, so it's not Slytherin.
most
it's Death
most
Eater.
Death Eaters are Slytherins. So
Oh, are they?
So you
Okay.
weren't wrong.
Oh,
And also just like the evil-ish,
snake, the
like the
green,
skulls and
yeah.
stuff.
You're
Green
fine.
and snake, Slytherin. You understood.
dude. So, just speaking of Harry Potter,
Harry Potter.
I never read the books. My ex-wife was a fanatic for it.
Yeah.
And made me go to those midnight showings.
yeah, I worked those at a movie theater in
Did you
Smyrna.
really? That's
And
awesome.
I worked the last 4.
I'm a morning person, so it was always the like midnight,
Yeah.
ones.
You're getting home at 3 or 4 a.m.
and I would just fall asleep during all of them.
I
So
bet you would.
I really did not pay attention to them at all. And Haley likes them as well, and I watch them with her, but it's just I can't retain anything from
Really?
it.
They're also, I mean,
It's okay.
pretty easily complicated.
They can be. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of background information that
Yeah.
you get from the
Yes,
books.
that's what I hear.
And then they'll release certain information too throughout the years after the books ended. Like she went on, and every year on certain days, J.K. Rowling would release new information on certain days just to keep it going.
I think, what's Sirius's black brother's name, his younger brother?
Regulus.
Regulus, I think, is the most tragic story
Yes,
in
it
all of
is.
Harry Potter. That was one of those whenever I actually
And it did
listening to
not
him, I
get
was
told
like,
in the movie.
not at all in the movie.
Okay, now I'm curious.
He
What?
like goes on a quest to find a Horcrux and
Yeah.
destroy it, and then dies in the process.
Yeah,
Right?
He finds
Spoilers, by the way,
Yeah,
for a book
spoiler
that came out
alert.
almost
So,
20 years ago.
in the Half-Blood Prince, we see that Harry and Dumbledore go and they get that chain locket, and then when they open it up, there's a letter in there that says, "I know your secret," and by the time you read this, hopefully I will have destroyed it.
Yeah.
But in the process of getting that locket, he dies himself, and his house elf creature, who's we see in the Deathly Hallows and a little bit in the Order of the Phoenix, he's the one that he takes the locket back and hangs onto it for Regulus until they can destroy it.
But it's a super tragic, like Regulus, I feel like is mystery, like
Yeah.
what happened to him, where did he
Everyone
go?
just thought that like the Voldemort himself killed Regulus.
And Sirius was like in Azkaban, so like he also was disgraced, so the
Yeah.
whole family line was disgraced. And then you find out that like he actually did the bravest thing.
Died a
and
hero,
he
turned on
died a
Voldemort.
hero, and got zero credit for it
Right.
at all. It's this like
Damn,
very
man.
small, hidden, like very.
Sirius
I
is
thought
actually my
Peter
favorite
Pettigrew
character.
was also one of the more evil people
Yeah.
in the books.
Yeah.
More than like I read a lot of books. I've overanalyzed story arcs. I think the second in command is always more terrifying than the big bad person.
Bellatrix.
Yes, like Bellatrix is more scary than Voldemort because Voldemort, yeah, sure, they do all the evil stuff, but the person who actually carries out the actions, that's the person I'm scared
And the fact
of.
that she enjoys it too.
Yes.
When she's laughing the entire time she's torturing somebody.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, cool. Yeah, Voldemort, he's scary. He doesn't have a nose. Sure, whatever. But like Bellatrix, terrified.
Yeah.
That's the person who at the end of the book was like, how does justice come to her? That's the person who I cared
And
more
then
about.
Mrs. Weasley pops
That's
up.
right.
Yep. Not my daughter.
Not my daughter. Yeah. It's, But yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Just I just wanted to share that because I have few people to be like, yeah, Sirius's younger brother is really one of the more tragic stories in that book.
Sirius is actually my favorite character in the whole
Really?
series. Yep.
Okay. Good to know. Do you have any Sirius tattoos?
I do not yet.
yet.
Oh man.
I've got, all my money goes to the girls anyway. So
Oh
whenever
yeah,
I do
that's
have
fair.
extra
You don't have
money,
an extra grand for a
I
tattoo.
don't. But like I said, the Lord of the Rings one is going to be my next
Cool.
one that I want.
Yeah.
So back to the tattoos.
Yes.
I told you I'm a giant nerd, so I actually
Yes.
have a Pokemon tattoo on my calf.
Oh.
If you know any of the Pokemon, it's a Gengar, which is a purple ghost Pokemon.
Oh yeah. It's
Don't
been a while,
know.
but yeah.
Dude,
So-
man, Pokemon's been so
It's still a thing.
so
yeah,
long
it's
ago.
still going,
though.
and I still play them. I still play
Do
the
you
games.
really?
Every time a new game comes out, I get it.
I like the red and blue. I thought were really fun. I
Yeah.
still remember being a kid and playing those for hours and hours.
Ruby is still my favorite to this day.
Okay.
But the second last one that came out, Legends Arceus, was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Okay.
They re-identified the whole Pokemon series.
Okay, cool.
Are these movies that you guys
Games,
are talking
video
about?
games.
Game
Oh,
Boy, like
okay.
Game Boy Color games. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Well, now it's like Switch.
Yeah, it's Switch. Yeah, it was like being like in 6th grade and like having a Game Boy and like popping in the cartridge so you could play like Pokemon Red. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's
And then my final tattoo I've got on my right arm, there's an Eminem verse that really stuck with me when I heard it a long time ago. I don't remember what song it was from, but it says, have you ever loved somebody so much that you'd give an arm for them?
Yeah.
Not the expression, no, literally give an arm for them.
Mhm.
And he had a whole sleeve done of his daughter.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
I kind of took that and went my own way with it. So up the top, I have Madeline written out with Rose, which is her middle name.
Cool.
And then there is a rose stem that goes down, and then there's a dove in the middle of it. And then it has Ava Jade, which is Ava in her middle name.
Cool.
Huh.
And Ava also means dove in Hebrew.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's my arm for the girls. And then on the inside of my arm, I have I Love You Daddy written by Ava in kindergarten.
Cool.
And on the outside of my arm, it has Maddie's written from kindergarten
So
too.
you're literally
That's
giving up one
awesome.
of your arms to
Exactly.
your daughter's cool.
And that my thought process behind the I love you part is, when they get to those teenage years and the I hate you comes out.
When you need a reminder.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Oh
You're
man.
fact checking them.
Exactly. But every time Maddie looks at the one that she wrote, she goes, "Oh my gosh, my handwriting was so cringy."
Yeah, you were 5.
You were 5. You could barely
fine.
hold a pencil.
Yeah.
What'd you expect?
That's why it's so cute that you wrote it.
Exactly. And she was like, "Why am I writing this on a paper? It's so stupid."
Well, it's adorable.
It is. I love it, and it's that is my favorite tattoo.
Cool.
So
That's sweet. Nice.
That is cool.
Well, Justin.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions? Should we start putting the episode to bed?
Let's do it.
Okay. How we end our episodes? We ask the same 5 questions pretty much.
Okay.
And this is the filler as Justin looks it up on his phone.
Boom, boom, boom. All right.
is rapid fire, or do I get a little
No,
bit of time?
you
Okay.
get-
You get a,
It's like-
you
All right.
get a little bit of time.
Who's your favorite
No.
Harry Potter character?
Did you have any backup names for your kids?
Well, not for the girls, but if I had a boy, it was either going to be Sebastian Michael or Michael Sebastian,
Okay.
Okay.
and that was for both sides if it was going to happen. So I'm
And
still holding
any
hope.
like, what was the reasoning?
Well, Michael's my dad's name.
Okay.
And then it's also my middle name. And then Sebastian was my Catholic name. When I got confirmed, I took on Sebastian, which is
okay.
the patron saint of athletes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So when you get confirmed, you take on somebody else's.
you take on a saint name.
Cool.
I did not know
So,
that.
I was raised Lutheran, so,
So
different.
yeah. So when you get confirmed, you've got your first name, your middle name, and then you take on a patron saint that you get to pick, and that becomes your Catholic name added on into it.
Learn something new every
That's
day.
cool. I'm a big fan of St. Francis.
I like St.
Francis
Francis
of
too.
CC is
Yeah.
real cool.
Real big on animals. You see it
Yeah.
almost outside every vet.
Yep.
I love it.
He famously, Justin, Francis of Assisi, was told you should go preach the gospel to all living creatures. So he went out and preached it to the animals.
Oh,
Okay.
Because they're alive.
Saint,
So-
Yeah,
Saint
there you
Sebastian
go.
was ordered to death by Julius Caesar, and
Oh.
because he
Whoa.
was preaching in private, because that was the time where Christianity was highly frowned upon.
Yeah.
So when Caesar found out about it, he was one of his top lieutenants in his army too,
Yeah.
and so he had him tied to a tree and shot with arrows until he died, and he actually survived for 3 days.
Yeah.
Strapped to a tree with arrows sticking out of him.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The saints are fascinating.
Yes, they are.
Like, I'm not even Catholic, but I'm still fascinated by them. Because I'm like, this is a whole thing.
Fun fact: in college, I had a speech class, and I wrote a speech. I wrote it the morning of.
Yeah. You came up with the speech.
I came up with the speech the morning of, and it was about Santa Claus / Saint Nicholas. And
Yeah.
I told 3 different stories about that. I got a 98 on that speech because my teacher says she does not give a perfect grade on a speech because there's no such thing as a perfect speech.
There you go. Respect. Next question. Who's your favorite TV dad?
Favorite TV dad? I watch a lot of really messed up TV shows.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Um,
Don't say Walter White.
I'm not gonna say Walter White. I keep going to Family Guy because that's one of my favorite shows, but I'm not saying Peter Griffin because he's a terrible dad. Favorite TV dad? I'm gonna say Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
So not only because he was a dad to his own kids, but he also took in Will up off the streets.
Yep.
And I don't know if you've ever seen when Will's dad comes and he leaves at the last second, and there's that nice touchy feely. That is between two men, not characters.
Yeah.
And tears me up every time I see it.
Yeah, he is the most consistent answer we get.
Yeah,
which is really cool because I think it also is a testament to like early '90s, late '80s, how many people were fascinated to latch on to someone who actually seemed like a real father figure, because TV dads are normally very comical caricatures of ridiculousness, and then Uncle Phil, almost everyone is like. Everyone is like, the scene where he hugs Will Smith. Still, like I cry about it if I think about it right now. So,
and then Danny Tanner was a close second, though. I was thinking Danny Tanner.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Do you have a least favorite kids TV show or movie, like one that they probably just listen to or watch a million times?
I have one, but my kids never really watch it, and I made sure that they never watched it because my littlest brother was a big fan of it, and I'm pretty sure you guys already know what it is. But Caillou.
Yes.
I have heard of this so much. I've yet to watch an episode.
Well, now I almost feel like I have to watch it just to see how bad it is.
It's terrible. And even back then, I'm like, why are we watching this? I hate this show. But my brother, that was his favorite thing. He was Caillou in his head.
Really?
Yeah.
What's even the premise of Caillou?
It's just basically a kid that gets away with everything that he wants to do, which is why I didn't want my kids to watch it.
He's supposed to be like a horrible person.
He's a 4-year-old kid with a mom and dad and a little sister. And it just goes through everyday activities, but he whines. He's the most annoying voice.
Yes. Okay. That's consistently stated.
And then his parents are, let him get away with it, whatever he wants to do. If he takes a toy from his sister, he does it and she cries, and, they make him give it back, but they don't really make him apologize or do anything bad about it.
Yeah.
Caillou. But the ones that my kids watch,
a punk.
he is a punk. Yeah. There's a theory going around that he has cancer, which is why they let him get away with everything, because he's also bald too.
He's terminal.
Terminally ill, and if you watch it, there's like a white cloud gloss around the TV screen, so it's almost like it's in his head or imaginary or a fever dream.
Oh my god.
So the thing is that he's terminally ill, which is why he doesn't have any hair and why he gets away with everything.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
Nice.
Okay. Then he's not a punk.
But
or maybe he is. I don't know.
But the show that I hated that my kids watched is Peppa Pig.
Yeah.
I like Bluey so much better.
Yeah, Bluey is good.
Peppa Pig is hard. I don't I feel like anytime my kids have watched him, it's like, oh, this is just not fun.
Peppa falls in the same thing as Caillou, where they kind of do whatever they want without any backfire.
Yeah.
So,
and you watch that, and then it's like you watch your kid watch a show, and then you watch them like later on, like, hey, can you not do it? And they're like, oh, I want to, and you're like, well, know where you got that from.
Well, what's really funny is that when you have kids that watch that kind of show, like Peppa Pig or even Bluey, they'll at a young age they will develop an accent along with that show. Yeah. So Maddie was big on Peppa Pig, and she, for the longest time, I was Daddy. Are we getting petrol today? She asked me if we were getting petrol one day.
And you're like, no, that's too far of a drive to get to Australia. I can't go over there. Next question. Do you have a favorite kids toy? Like whenever your daughters play with it, you actually like playing with it also?
I'm a nerd.
Yeah, that's cool.
We have lightsabers, and we have lightsaber fights. Go back on the Facebook. There is a video around Christmas time of us having a lightsaber fight. My mom got all the girls, or at least Ava, Maddie, and Malaya lightsabers, and then me as one as well. It would have been 2 Christmases ago, so we might have to scroll for a little bit, but lightsabers they like doing that.
Really? Right here.
That's really fun.
Yep, there it is.
Nice.
So that's Maddie and Malaya coming at me, and
so you are on the dark side.
I'm on the dark side. Yes.
Yeah, that's the Kylo Ren one, right?
That's the Kylo Ren one.
Are you excited for them to watch like The Force Awakens, or have they watched it yet?
They have not. I don't think they've watched any of it, just because I remember when I first watched. The first one I ever watched was Episode 1.
Yeah,
The Phantom Menace. I know, it's my age.
Yeah.
And I was terrified of Darth Maul as a kid.
I mean, that's fair.
So
he's a villain.
I'm kind of, and he, red and barely talks, but he's killed Qui-Gon.
Yeah, and like
spoilers,
terrifying. Yeah.
But I think when they're ready, I'll introduce it to them. They're into Harry Potter. They enjoy bits and pieces of Lord of the Rings. Like there's another video I got of them. I don't know if it's on Facebook or on my phone for sure, but they're dancing to some Lord of the Rings songs, like the Dancing Hobbits. That's what I called it.
Dancing Hobbits.
Have you ever heard the like techno remix of "They're Taking the Hobbit Sizing"?
Yes, I have. They like that.
Just wanted to make sure.
So in the Fellowship of the Ring, there's a song called "Flaming Red Hair."
Okay.
And it's in one of the opening scenes where they're dancing at Bilbo's birthday party.
Yeah.
And it's
Bilbo Baggins.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to.
And it starts with a high-pitched flute, and at one point Maddie hated it, but now she loves it. And if you've ever seen where they'll get up and they'll do like a line dance on stage, the hobbits will, I taught them how to do that dance, and every time they hear that song, they'll do it. And I had them doing it on a picnic table at Arrington a couple years ago.
Nice. I might have learned how to play They're Taking the Hobbit Sizing Guard, like that melody, basically on mandolin.
Love it.
And we'll just pull it out randomly, just to be like sitting somewhere and be like, do. Anyway, Justin.
Sorry,
question.
I was not prepared for that last
okay.
question.
Also, if you haven't Googled "They're Taking the Hobbit Sizing Guard," it is one of the. It'll just get stuck in your head, and then you're welcome. That's basically all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. What moment of your kid's life are you most excited to be a part of?
Well, I was very excited to be a part of their, like, is this in the past or going forward?
Either.
Okay. I'll do both. In the past, being the Catholic that I am, I really enjoyed their first communion and getting involved in the Catholic Church, as well as their first confession.
Yeah.
So that was great. Love being a part of that. And then going forward, I think I look forward to walking them down the aisle.
Yeah.
When that time comes, if it comes, they might be like me and turn, 40, 50 and still single. Who knows?
Who knows?
Which I'll be okay with that as well, as long as they're happy. That's all I care about.
There you go.
They've got two beautiful smiles that I like seeing as much as I can.
Yeah. Do you come from a family of Catholics? Like, were your grandparents Catholic and everything?
My mom's entire side is Catholic.
Cool.
And then my dad converted when they got married for her, but he's not a practicing Catholic.
Cool. But them wanting to take that step means something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have a family tradition there, and them not agreeing to it, but them saying, "Yeah, this is a step I want to take," means something.
When Ava was getting older and realizing what it was, she was always asking, "When is my turn? When do I get to go to my first communion?" So she did that, and I think going to church really gets people a peace of mind.
Cool.
And if I can share that part with them, then they will be able to deal with stress a lot better than a lot of other people.
Yeah. No, it's I'm really glad that there's something that's part of your family, like your mom's side of the family, that you are able to pass down to your kids. Because I feel like you're hoping to it keeps your elders alive to some extent. Keeps their memory alive, keeps what they cared about alive. So whenever your kids actually want to do it also, it's like, oh, thank you.
Well, my mom's home church was in a church called St. Lawrence out in Jolton, close to Clarksville.
Okay.
And that's where her entire family is buried.
Okay.
Her parents, her grandparents, her aunts, great-grandparents. I think it goes back like 4 or 5 generations in that cemetery.
Oh, wow.
And every year they have a St. Lawrence barbecue where they cook 2 tons of barbecue.
Yeah. And you said tons, right?
Tons.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Yeah.
Actual, a lot of pork, and they sold out every year too. But we go up there, we go to mass, and then we go across the street to the carnival and for the barbecue. But before mass, we get there. The girls always want to go visit my grandparents while they're there.
That's really
awesome.
Cool. That's special.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, well, if anyone wants to know more about you, hit you up for physical therapy stuff. What's your Instagram? What's the best way to follow you?
I don't even know my own Instagram. So I think it's Adam Moose 92 maybe.
We'll bring it back up.
We'll tag you in the post and everything. Is Moose a nickname for you?
Moose is a nickname I got from in middle school for in football.
Okay. Cool.
My football coach could never pronounce my last name, so he just said, "Screw it, I'm calling you Moose."
Moosekian?
Moosekian.
Moosekian.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh.
Good old Armenians.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But it's at Adam Moose 92.
Adam Moose 92. Yep, that's how they can find me, or they can look A Train Fitness 615.
Okay, cool, sweet. Well, hey, man, if you're out there listening to this and you're like, let's talk to Adam about strength training stuff, or you have an elderly parent.
Yeah, you have somebody that you're concerned about if their fall risk or they're worried about getting up unassisted, I'm the person to call.
Sweet.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of times people over the age of 65, if they fall and break a hip, unfortunately, within 6 months, they pass away after that hip break.
Seriously?
Because they are immobile. They're unable to walk. They're unable to get up.
Yeah.
So if we can prevent that fall, or if we can have them strong enough to where they can recover from that fracture, then they can add on life.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. That's great.
Cool. Well, thank you, Adam.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for being on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me so much. This has been a blast.
Gladly. Thank you. Thanks again for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Nashville Dads and to subscribe to us on Apple and Spotify podcast. We record at New Light Podcast Studio and episodes are produced by me, Devin.